1928, the Adirondack Garden Club was formed, and at that time, those 14 original women were brilliant in their thoughts on showing the importance of native plants. It started in their gardens, and nearly 100 years later, here we are working on the Families First project, where we are planting a native garden. Our hope is that we can really show the community why native plants are important and why we need to continue to propagate native plants in our gardens.
The plan for the garden is to create a all or mostly native garden. It's essentially going to be all native plants that are meant to be a habitat, not just an aesthetic garden. Typically when you do community projects with gardens, one of the biggest issues is time for maintenance, both on the people from the garden club who might commit to helping and the organization. Native plants naturally fit that bill. A native garden is not only meeting conservation goals, but hopefully it should also mean that we're creating a wildlife habitat while also being low maintenance and self-sustainable. So this project is led by the Adirondack Garden Club, which has a lot of activities, a club that dates back to 1928 and is focused on promoting garden and nature awareness in the Adirondack region. It provides educational services for members and the community. It provides scholarships and grants, and it partners with organizations to do specific projects like the Families First Native Garden.
When the garden club was formed, it was clear from the very beginning that they were going to focus on native plants, the importance of having native plants and cultivating them. So the project that we've begun here in Elizabethtown is especially dear to not only my heart, but our garden members' hearts because of its theme of planting and cultivating native plants and helping people understand the importance of those native plants in their gardens.
Seen it in a couple of weeks and stuff grows a lot, so we'll see today how it looks, but the last time I was there it was looking pretty good. We have a mixture of second year plants and first year seedlings, and the second year plants are really good for adding sort of some earlier bigger, more noticeable growth. What we've really tried to do here is work with minimal disturbance to the land to make it look more like what you would expect of beds, but to disturb the soil as little as possible, to add as little artificial, and by that I just mean outside of the environment as possible, so that we're just putting sort of plants that should naturally be able to survive well with minimal care and get them going. And so we didn't dig the beds out. We aren't cleaning the beds on a regular basis. It's sort of a mixture of the natural process with sort of our kind of aesthetic goals for a garden. From the ease perspective, so far I think it's been pretty successful. I've had good volunteers. Each session has been pretty easy, nothing too hard, and so we actually have a garden in, and it's growing, and so with what I would call relatively minimal effort.
Our garden is also trying to save our birds. The bird population is decreasing so greatly, and if birds are something that are very important to you, you can go to the Audubon website, audubon.com, type in your zip code, and they will tell you what plants to put in your garden and the birds that they will attract.
So I'm pretty happy with this. We can come in and clean out some of the stuff, but things are growing well.
I belong to the Adirondack Garden Club in Zone 3 in New York State, and our garden club focuses on 3 important issues. We are horticulturally responsible. We focus on conservation that has value, and we think about aesthetics that have appeal. And those were the 3 ingredients that went into the making of our garden at Families First. It's a native garden. It means that the plants have lived in that environment for many, many years. They're indigenous. They're used to the climate, they're used to the soil. They know exactly what makes them happy to grow. And we did research to find out which were the best plants to put in this environment. The main goal is to attract the wildlife. We want that wildlife to come into our garden because we want to save it. Families First is recreating a habitat for the monarch butterfly and for birds. And the people in Elizabethtown, the county seat of Essex, are going to walk down Water Street and they're going to see nature. Maybe you're lucky enough, you'll see that wonderful little caterpillar, green, yellow, and black, voraciously eating the Asclepias milkweed plant. And this garden is recreating the habitat that most of those animals and insects need to survive.